All right, kiddos, going to walk you through how to do the digital hexagonal thinking toolkit here. And as you can see over here on the left-hand side, I have some terms from one of our past units. Now, one thing that I do want to tell you, when you first see your page, it's going to look just like this. If you are able to work in this environment where the words are a lot smaller and the pictures are smaller, that's fine. I know I've noticed in class a lot of my kids have had to make things a lot bigger so they can kind of see, boy, that's a little too big for me, but they've been able to see and work through things, and that's fine if you need to do it like this. We can work with this. So over here on the left-hand side, we have all of our terms: Native Americans, farming, men, women, children, war, hunting, indigenous. Hunting's on there twice. I'll take that out. Tribes, chiefs, villages, gathering, building, and teepee. And so while we're talking about this, I'm going to get this out of here. And so you are to take these words from the left side. You're going to put one term. So I'm going to take Native Americans. I'm going to drag it over here. And I don't care what color you put it in. I just happen to be starting with the very first hexagon that I see. Now, you notice you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sides that you can connect to. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get rid of some of these because I don't think I'm going to use them all. And that way I can move some things around a little bit because, again, you're going to be doing a little bit of a moving around of things. So come on, I want you over here. There we go. Now, you have 6 sides on this Native Americans. You need to connect things to this. I'm going to take my Native Americans and I'm going to move it over here because I know that when I talk about Native Americans, obviously there were men. I'm going to put the men down here, and I'm going to drag that up just so they touch each other. Now you can notice that these 2 sides kind of touch each other because, well, I know that that's something that they were connected with each other. I'm going to move this out of the way as well, and I'm going to take this one, and because I know that they were connected to Native Americans also, I'm going to connect women right here. Now, were the men and women connected? Yeah, a lot of times they got married. What happened when the men and women got married? Well, let's put this one here, and I may have to change the font color on this one. We'll find out. I can still see it. If you want to change the font color, you can to white, so it's a little easier to see. So, Native Americans, men, women, children. Now, what is one thing that women had to do that would make also possibly involve the children? And so I know that they had to do some gathering. So I'm going to take this word gathering and slowly, again, this is where it would maybe help out to have like that other view where it's not as blown up, but then again, you can't see things as well. So the moms would take care of the children, and during the day, one of the things that they would have to do is gather firewood. They would have to gather nuts and berries and things that the family would want to eat. And now I have these things connected. So, is there something that the men and the children did? Well, yeah, actually, if you want to connect this here, the men would take the boys out, and what would they teach them how to do? They would teach the boys how to hunt. And I can change that font color if I want to. So now you're starting to notice how I've got more and more things that are becoming connected to each other. Now, Native Americans. I can get this one and just kind of move it out of the way for now. What is something that Native Americans and men had in common? Well, if you think about the Native Americans when they were together, move that there. There was a chief or a leader of the Native Americans. It was typically the men, and that's a good thing. So what's something else that I could put right here? Something else that men did. Now, again, I might start to kind of run out of some things over here, but I don't think, I don't think I'm going to get to building on this one, and that's fine because I'm going to prove my points. Men were also involved in war. Okay, so that's fantastic. So you see how I'm starting to connect all of these different things here together. And so I'm going to take the word teepee and continue to move it up here. And I know that a lot of times, at least what we read in our text and in the videos, that when it came time to move, it was the women that had to take up and bring down the teepee. And you notice how I'm starting to, whoa, I kind of moved a little too fast on myself there. Notice how I've got everything kind of connecting and starting to get together, right? I could probably put farming up here because that's something that Native Americans did. I might be out of the box a little bit, but that's okay. Again, I'm not going to take off for that on you at all because I see that you've connected here. Okay, now there may be some terms that you just don't get to. Although I could probably drag this here. I know it's off the screen, but I can still see that they're connected. And I'm going to drag the word tribes on. Oh, what did I do with the word tribe? There it is. And I'm going to drag the word tribes into here. And I'm starting to make some connections. Now, again, as I'm going through this and I'm thinking, there are going to be times where indigenous, I guess that could go here if I wanted to get it on there, and that would be fine. And villages would connect to chiefs and tribes, so I could do that. Now, you're welcome to move this around some more and make it fit and look super nice. I know that a lot of you would want to do that. Now, when you get done with that, on your second page, it explains your thinking, connections, and it says term plus term. Here's what I mean. What did men and chiefs have in common? So I come back over here and I type in men and I type in chiefs. Now, explain that. Typically, the men were the chiefs in the villages / clans / tribes. And I must have spelled something wrong there. It should be a P. There we go. So I've explained my thinking between the connection between these two. Now, what did women in farming have to do with each other? I come back in here and I type in the two terms, women. I come over here and I type in farming. And what did I do? Control Z that and Control Z that. There we go. Women had to do the farming while the men were out hunting, gathering, and making war, if that happened to be something that was going on that time. So on your second page, you're explaining your thinking. Now, you'll notice I've only got, man, it keeps doing that to me, and it did it again. I've only got connections of 5. You are welcome to, if you really wanted to, you could just copy this, come down here, hit this, and you could do connection number 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's up to you. 5 is what I really would like for you to do, and tell me why you're doing that. And you can tell I did that in a good sentence. You may need more than one sentence. So you'll be doing this for the northern, the middle, and the southern colonies throughout the rest of this. I think this is a very easy thing to do. I can see this maybe getting a little difficult when things don't fit and they maybe get out of space a little bit. Again, like you can come in here and you can delete things if you want to. You don't have to have any of these arrows. I'm not going to use the way that they use that in the lesson, at least the way that I learned how to do this. I don't think the arrows are necessary because you do all that work on the next page. You're welcome to move these things around so that it fits if you want to. Am I making you? No, I'm not making you. I turned hunting upside down somehow. I don't know how I did that, but again, if you really want to do that, you can move it around so that things fit. There's nothing making you. Again, I'm not going to get mad if it bleeds off the screen a little bit because I can figure out what you're talking about. But I know some of you out there are going to want it to look very nice and neat and organized, and that's fine. I understand that. You can drag all of these over to one side like this. You could just sit there and have them all over here if you wanted to, and then pull them over and put the words in as you need to. And there's nothing that's going to be wrong with that. You'll be fine if you do that. Nothing's going to, I'm not taking off because I know this can be a little bit difficult. Not super difficult, but it can be. Again, you can see this is fairly easy. I'm really just kind of clicking and dragging and putting things in what I think is a nice, neat order. And once I have my hexagons connected, I come to my second page and I explain some of my thinking. I think that's a pretty fun thing to do. It is very interesting. And I think the thing that'll be most interesting is looking at how everybody did their connecting, because there's not one specific answer. There are, I would easily say, hundreds of connections that you could make to this, to where it would be, and there's completely different ways. Everybody's thinking is going to be different. Everybody's thinking is going to be unique, and that's probably what I'm looking forward to most, is going through these at the end and just seeing, like, well, how did people connect this? What did they get out of the lesson that may be a little bit different than I got, or different from their partners or somebody else in class? And we'll take some time to sit there and look at that. So that is it. That's hexagonal thinking. Again, I'll be in small groups during this time. So if there's something here that you just cannot figure out, do this on paper. No, you don't have to draw the hexagons if you don't want to. Just tell me how these different terms would be connected to each other. And then again, on the second part, you can write how that would work. And then you can kind of draw, to the best of your ability, how these things connect on the back of that paper. And then you can move on to the next one. All right. I will see you soon in class. If I haven't seen you already, thank you for working hard. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Click the notification bell. I don't even know if that works, but I guess do it anyway, because that's what they say, right? And I will catch all of you later.